Hello, everyone. You know, when you get involved in something and you think, oh, I have minutes, and now it's time. Hi, welcome to the green room. All right, let me get the chats going over here. Hey, everyone. Monique here, a photographer at Silver Paw Studio. And every Monday at 2 o'clock now, Mountain Time, we go live from my office, AKA the green room. And generally, we talk about something that was a pre recorded video last week. And that's exactly what we're doing this week. So I hope my audio is turned on. It is super hot out, but I am also very tired. So I'm drinking coffee. Probably shouldn't be doing that. All right. I'm going to show you today some of the pictures I took at the dog rescue as well, kind of towards the end of the broadcast, or we can do it while we're waiting for everyone to come in and get their notifications. I thought I had my comments on. There they are. Oh, it's Panda and Frank. Hello, everyone. So I do have some dog pictures from Animal Friends Alliance that I took today outside. Even at 10:30, it was so hot out. And I met up with Frank to do the cat pictures, but there was lots and lots of very shy kitties that would do much better with his setup, which you saw in a video a couple of weeks ago. Yes. Good morning, Panda. I went out and paddled around and saw all kinds of pelicans the other day, and I thought about you the whole time. Like, look, oh, Panda would love all these pelicans. So I'll have to remember to text you over pictures of pelicans. Yes. You just see, that's the thing. So Frank and I go through and we kind of assess all the kitties, and we put some on his list, some on my list, and none of them were appropriate for my list. They'd had a lot of adoptions this weekend as well. And there was quite a few we thought, okay, they might do well in the kennels for Frank. And he only got the two. And that's just what happens sometimes. Panda, I know. I even, just for you, Panda, I tried to get some footage, some film, but it was really difficult hand holding that kind of heavy lens. I don't know how it turned out. I haven't honestly had a chance to look. But when I put something together, I'll send something over to you. I'll probably put it on my Cattail Chronicles Instagram as well, some photos. I'm a little behind there. I've taken a lot of pictures, but I don't put them up. So this week on the show, let's talk about all the different income streams that I went over in Friday's produced video. Oh, you got the real, oh, you finally got Blaze. Oh, very good. And I want to let you know too, if you don't have, let me see, where's the banners? Here we go. If you don't have access to this chart I'm about to show you, it is part of the sign up goodies that you get if you're a pro or aspiring pro photographer. I've got a new email group right here, bit.ly/pet-photo-biz. And this graph you'll get as a download. And if you're already on the list, check your email because you were sent it on Friday. So sorry if that gets sent to a weird email box, but you've got it. You've got it. You can get it either way, this chart that we're going to take a look at. And I actually came up with so many ideas that I had to split my produced videos for the weeks into a photography income and videography income. Let's see. Panda, why don't kitties smell like doggies? Mixes. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Not easy to photograph like a doggy. Oh my gosh, Panda, you're so right. It's so different to photograph the cats versus the dogs. It definitely is. And, you know, it's different every day. Like every week, Frank and I go out there to photograph the kitties, and I meet a volunteer or like an assistant at the dog side too, on the other side of town. And they're just different every day, all of their different personalities and what they like. So some dogs really love to play with a toy. Some really like attention. Some really like treats. And cats, some really like quiet. Like the last couple of weeks, I've asked Frank, do you want me to stick around and help you with your setup? And both times it's been, it's just kind of nice to have that quiet time because kitties really like that. And so Frank just sets up all of his equipment and has his flow for doing that. So even among two people who photograph kitties, we even approach it a little bit differently. So Panda, that is a super loaded question. All right. I want to do a screen share. I just actually have Canva open. So I just opened Canva. Let's show you. If you haven't gotten this This is the graph thing that I actually drew during the video last week. And I've made it into a PDF. It has some more information in the PDF form. But I wanted you to all take a look at this and let me know if you want to do a deeper dive into some of these. I tried to make that a shorter video. But what I've got here is PC, private commission portraits, influencer teaching, fine art, business, stock, events, and merch. Let's see. Oh, where'd my mouse go? Oh my gosh. Come back, mouse. Where are you? Oh, it's on the other screen. Okay. When you have two screens side by side, that happens. That was your third try with Blaze? Oh my gosh. So this is what we got going on over here. I'm just going to look at my second screen. So those are the different things we can do a little bit deeper dive in. My other thought for this was to just make little 5-minute videos on each of these. I'm kind of calling them hubs. So you can see private commission. I can do I do a lot of this anyway, pet and people photography, selling prints, things like that, different ways you can earn income with your photography business through private commission. I talked about influencers, all the different ways you can teaching, fine art, business events, all of these. So each of these I can go into for maybe a 5-minute video, which I thought about doing just a whole run of them sometime in maybe August or September, have a whole week of 5-minute videos. And what would you think about that? I mean, obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about it here. If you have questions or input, or there's something more you want to see from last week's video. Oh my gosh, I keep losing my mouse. What have I done? Oh, golly. There it is. It's on my second screen again. So if you have questions on any of the things, oh my goodness. Boop, boop, right there. Let me know in this live stream. Or if you would rather have me just make little 5-minute videos on each of these, which I probably will do anyway. And then Friday, so I'm going to give you a minute to think about that and respond. This coming Friday's video is going to be all the different ways you can earn money with video as a pet photographer. And I came up with, I think in the video I say 18 because I miscounted, but really it's 19 different ways. As Frank is learning, there's so much you can do with video. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of addictive, but it takes a lot more time, but that's okay. It pays pretty good if you figure out what you want to offer. So there's that. How's everyone doing? Are we just kind of sluggish from the summertime? I know I'm feeling that today. Thus the 2 p.m. coffee. That's not great, right? Oh gosh. Let me take my name off of here. So how are you doing? Like Frank and Panda? Oh gosh, we're all right here in Colorado. It's hot. It's been over 90 for 2 weeks, and it will remain that way for another 2 weeks. Which I like summer, but woof, it makes it just a little bit of time that you can go outside, and then the bugs eat all your skin, which is gross. Ooh. There we go. Now I'm in focus. Okay. Are we having trouble with the live stream? Maybe. I don't see any more comments coming in. So sorry if you're having any trouble. Who knows what's going on in the internet lands? I don't see any comments coming in on what you want to learn more about. Obviously, on that email group, you can just email me directly too. So that's fine. If you get that email and you have a question right then and there, go ahead and email it. Email me because I will answer. I will actually email you back. And then Friday afternoons tend to be a little bit lighter because I front load the whole week and try to get videos done and emails done. And because everything goes live like 7 a.m. on Fridays. And so if you reply to that email on Friday, chances are you'll get an email back from me. So little tip there. What else? Raise your paw if you want to see some of the pictures I took today. Since I don't have any questions right now on where did I put Lightroom? Hold on. I got to find Lightroom. Okay. Oh, Panda, I'm not? Okay, cool. Humid, really? Okay. Zukov's at Doggy Daycare. Lucky pup. He gets all the pools to play in, doesn't he? Oh, and his foot must have healed enough too. Humid there. Yeah, I don't know. No trouble lighting. Okay, cool. I don't know if I'd really call it humid here. I keep trying to decide if it ever feels humid because the pond is right there or just because it's kind of cloudy. And like it keeps threatening to have afternoon thunderstorms. And I keep thinking, okay, this will be great. Yeah. Oh, you do want to see pics. Okay. So let's scooch on over. What the halibut? Let's go ahead and take a look at, ta-da! I have had a chance to edit the first two dogs. Let me get this microphone in place. Let me get over here. Ta-da! Okay, so here's everybody. And what I do is while I'm there between dogs, I star them in camera. And then when I pull them in Lightroom, all the starred ones, it's already cold basically. And then I just have to crop and correct like exposure over here. Yeah, so look at this. See, it's so Monday today. Look at that. This dog is ready to go to work. I think that's really fun. They had two kind of, what are these? Malamutes, husky type dogs. They were pretty fun. Look at those eyes, right? And, oh, hey, hi, Patty. Hey, Patty, no worries. We're just looking at pictures I took this morning. I hadn't gotten any questions yet on the graphic that I sent out. Let me show you. I mean, you've seen it, I think. This graphic, Patty. So if you have any questions on there, if you want to do a deeper dive into one of these photography income hubs, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to just kind of look at some pictures of dogs I took at 10:30, 11. It was already hot out. So here's this one. Obviously, I haven't gotten to totally cropping all these, but it'll be pretty quick work today. You know, I thought I might show you too, as I did 80s theme photo shoot on Friday, which they let me film a whole video. I gotta find my mouse again. Okay, hold on. So Friday, I had two puppies come to the studio for this 1980s themed photo shoot for the rescue because their gala is 80s themed, and they let me film it. And so that'll be coming up in August. So I'm pretty excited to show you that. So Frank, on the deep dive, on which topic? So if we go back over here and we take a look, are you talking about right now or individual like 5-minute videos on each particular hub? Let me pull up the hubs again. So we've got, gosh, I haven't even counted how many hubs. All the blue dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all the different 8 hubs, what would you like to talk about today? Or do you just want me to kind of do individual shorter videos for all of them? I think that would be good too. So think about that. And you know, Panda, we were talking about how different personalities, like this dog was pretty food motivated and kind of trumped all over the yard. And then this dog seemed like he'd be squirmy, but then just sat there. And then the other kind of husky Malamute dog was all over the place. And then this dog was uber shy. Super shy. So you just never know what you're going to get every single week. Maybe one of the top 10, like which one? Oh, Panda, you're funny. One of the top 10. Which ones? Sorry, Frank. Because I show on this. Let's see. You mean from like the video a couple of weeks ago? Could you be a little bit more specific? Yeah. Okay, we're going to go back to Lightroom. Yeah, so this little pupper was pretty shy, but we managed, and so we didn't even bother to put any clothes, like collars, bandanas, bow ties, anything like that on her because she was just having a hard time of it. So we just let her wander around and photographed her. Oh, Patty, I know, right? So I hope this gives you a little bit of bright spark to your day if you can't get back to the shelters yet. In a way, I'm kind of thinking, geez, they'll probably shut ours down again at some point if our numbers keep growing. Oh, that seems a little too warm, doesn't it? Although it was very warm out and she was brown. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you missed the shelters. Yeah. Paws are cropped off of some of the dogs. Yeah. So what I do here, Pandas, I've got this, my crops are tight, middle, wide, epic, and creative. So those are the 5 crops that I go for, and I'll probably make a whole video about this at some point. And what I'm doing sometimes is I'm far away from, like, say, this particular dog. I'm pretty far back. And so then, like, when the feeder cut off like that. That doesn't look good. So then I decide, do I want it to be a 3/4, which you don't really want to cut them off at the knees either. So you got to decide there. Then you can see a little bit of the shape of her body. Or do I want to make it tight, like a headshot? Think of a school portrait. So with the megapixels on this, I have a lot of choices, and I knew that when I was out there photographing too. Yeah, so you're right. You don't want those little paws not shown. So here's one where her whole body is. You can kind of see her shape and her hairstyle, that kind of thing. Here, let's just, we'll do a little bit of white balance. That's a teensy bit better. But you can see I've got some work to do in the shadows here. Anyway, this is fun. Frank, did you have any more specific top 10? I'll, if you're getting your coffee, we'll wait. That's okay. And Panda, you can see this one too, right? So it's not great that her paws are crossed, but she actually looked towards me, which was really difficult to do. I think there was someone else moving outside this yard that she could see, which got her attention. So that's going to be more of a close-up, because that's the first one that she actually was kind of looking straight towards the camera. It's weird that I'm looking that way. I'm sorry, I can't rearrange it on your on my screen share. Yeah, good places to crop on pets. Kind of think of it as a tight, middle, wide. And I can skim over that tight, middle, wide. So for her, this is tight. This without cutting off any limbs, right? Without cutting off any limbs, here'd be middle, I would say. So that's a nice S curve to it. And then wide. If her feet were all in here, we'd do the whole body. Now for epic, it would be her plus a lot of her environment, especially if you want copy space. So that'd be an epic almost. If you're on a location, she'd be even smaller in the frame. And then creative would just be, you know, maybe I have some that have like their tongue sticking out, that kind of thing. This one, and get some weird creative shots. So those are my 5 crops. Let's see. Let's go back to the bubble. The bubbles. What is this called? I don't even know. Like a chart, I guess. Frank says, how about PC, private commission portraits? Do you want to dive a little bit deeper into that? As far as, so for this, Frank, we're talking about like ways to make money with photography. Are you talking about different things that we can offer and create income and revenue streams from photography with private commission portraits? I do. It does look kind of sparse there, doesn't it? For being 66% of my income. Oh, Patty, you do too? Okay. Oh my gosh, I gotta find my mouse again. There we go. Okay, Patty and Frank want to dive a little bit deeper, which that makes sense that you would want to know more about that, right? Because private commission is where we're going to make most of our money, and it's kind of the first place that we think of, and it's who we market to. It's harder to have something that markets to, say, private commission and business, that kind of thing. So what I've got on here is really just the basics. You can photograph just the pets, and you can photograph just people too. We're talking a little bit more niched in for people, pet photography. So the pets with their people, and then extra prints. So with that, I would say, like for me, right now I've got 2 different, let's say it's just for pets or just for pets and their people. I have 2 different types of sessions. I've got that mini session I talked about a few weeks ago in a produced video, and I'm still offering that. I decided to do that the rest of the year. And then I've got my full custom session. And so the custom, hey, William, welcome. The custom session, we're doing a deep dive into the quadrant that's private commission over here, okay? That's custom. And so you can decide if it's going to be on your property or at a different location, maybe a little bit further away. You can have more people in it, a lot more creative process between the 2 of us. With my mini session, I don't really like that term a lot, but with my abbreviated sessions that are new for 2020 with everything happening, that has way less meetings. Like the only in-person meeting is the photo session. So I still have those 2. And then also which we'll talk about next week a little bit. I offer a blended video session too, so you can do some video with the stills. And I haven't had anyone take me up on that, but it is something that I offer. And it's pretty easy to do. Most of the time, you're just doing a regular session. And then in between, you're going to take some video too. I have different video cameras, but my phone is really good. If I had that on a stand even, or a hot shoe on top of my camera, and I can just do a little bit of video of us going, there we go. So there's something. What was the other thing? Oh, the additional prints. And I touched on that a little bit. And this comes in so many different forms. And so once you get to the point where you have a few clients and you've gotten a good relationship with them, and maybe they're on an email list, you keep in contact with them, and you just touch bases with them sometimes, or you let them know. A lot of times what I will do is at their original session. Let's say we're doing a session in July. I'll say during their sales meeting, I'll say, okay, a lot of people like to make these into Christmas cards too, but I know it's July. So how about I reach out to you in September? And then I have because every year I make some kind of a card template. And then I'll just send you over a proof. And then if you need cards, we're ready to go. We'll just take these images and then you can put it in your budget for later. And then we don't have to worry about that right now. Same thing people do with high school seniors. Sometimes they get their senior pictures in, say, August. It's in time for the yearbook. And then when they need them for their announcements in January, then you can print their announcements for them as well. So that's the additional portrait idea. Another way, most of the time what happens with additional portraits or additional prints or products is they get what they can right now and they've spent their budget, but they say, okay, I know I want to add this to my wall. And so let's add that on in a month. And that can be tricky. That can be tricky because then by the time you're done, you're just done for most people. And I try to tell them that too, like, okay, but once the kind of newness wears off of this, you're just not going to want anymore. So whatever you want, let's at least pick it out now. And so sometimes what happens is we pick out the one piece and they buy that and they get it delivered. And then they want two more on either side. And we pick those and we know what sizes, what materials, how much it's going to cost. And then that gets put in a budget for later. So in a month or two, whenever they want, then we'll get those processed. I even had one where it was a 5-image gallery on their wall, and every month we would just make sure we got them another print. So that's one way for the additional prints and products. Another one is don't take this the wrong way, but when their pet passes away. So sometimes they realize, oh my gosh, I never did come back for additional pictures, or I got the group picture of all my dogs and family, but I really would love that one of Sparky. So they call me up or they generally email me and say, hey, unfortunately Sparky passed away. We love that one where he was looking like this in the field. Can we get that? And so that's another way. So be sure to keep in contact with your clients as much as you can. And then, of course, send them a sympathy card and things like that. So for private commission portraits, those are kind of like the 3 big ones. As far as products within that, let me see. I've got my product sheet here, and I use ProSelect generally, which is a software from Time Exposure. And all of these prices and sizes and products are all in my sales program. Right now, during this weird time where I'm trying not to do as many in-person meetings, I can use that software live streaming, like streaming it to them, or within my Pixie set gallery, they can have access to these too, and they'll be directly sent to them. So what I've done on my price list as far as products is they have larger prints like 30 by 40 down to 20 by 20. And then I just have columns for canvas, framed in bamboo. And so I just say that's fireplace or mantle sized. And then accent or wall groupings. I have like a little picture of a wall grouping. And then 16 by 20 all the way down to 11 by 14. Again, canvas framed bamboo. That's just what sells here. Some places they might want mostly framed. Some places they might want standouts, some metal prints. Metal prints are huge in some cities, but not everyone. Ours loves canvas. Then I have desk or nook is 8 by 10 and 5 by 7, again on the canvas framed in bamboo. So I try to put it by size and by use. And then I have the displays, like little gift prints, 8 by 10s, that kind of thing. And then my gift books, memory boxes, and cards. So I keep it super simple. That's what I offer to my clients. And if they want something beyond that, I mean, we all have our labs that print everything. So if anyone ever says, I've heard of this metal or acrylic, is that something I can do? I'm like, yes, just give me a day to research it and get you, like, make sure they have the sizes we need. One time I sold a canvas bigger than what my lab printed. That was embarrassing. I had to let her know, like, we have to downsize this or give me a day or two to find it from another lab. Yeah, you don't want to run into that. So that's what I offer to clients. And any one of these can be something that they can order again later. And then with my mini sessions, they can call me up and order anything off my full menu is what I tell them. And the Pixie Set Gallery just has a few options. Frank, does that answer a little bit more of the deep dive into private commission, pets and people? Be sure to make a variety, but not so much of a variety of images. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have pets and people, is one of the ways that maybe that you set up your business. You're photographing pets and their people. Make sure you get plenty for them to choose from, but not so many they're overwhelmed. And what I do is I make sure I have breakdowns. So let's say there's 2 people and 3 dogs. We want to make sure that we have all 5 together. If that's their goal, if they really want a picture of everybody together, and then you make sure you have just the 2 people together, and then you make sure you get just the 3 dogs together, and then you make sure that you get one person with 3 dogs and the other person with all 3 dogs, and then you get individuals of every single dog. And what I do is I get 3 locations, ideally, this is ideally, 3 locations for each of those setups. And then you have plenty. Yeah, it does? Okay. How does one know if they have enough megapixels for a 30 by 40 print? Gosh, that's a good question. I would say contact your lab. What happens, here's what will happen, is you'll try to order that and the lab will say, not big enough. So some of it's in your export settings too. So if you automatically export to web sized or, for social media, just make sure you're exporting the right size, because when people buy a print from my studio, they also get a social media ready image. So smaller res with my logo. And so I have to be sure that then when I send the lab the image to be printed, I'm not using that lower res one. So kind of delineate there. But honestly, Patty, back when we were taking pictures with our 3 megapixel phones, we could print those 8 by 10s. We could. So I ran my studio for a long time on a 12 megapixel. And then I went to 24 and now I have a 42. So all of those. And I know the common thing for big, influencer type pet teachers is to say, big, big, big. You got to print everything big, big, big. But I'm sorry, I live in Colorado and we have big, big, big windows to see the beautiful world we live in. We don't have big, big walls to put prints on. So I don't push the hugest ones. I push the ones that are just the right size. And that's the great thing about ProSelect is you can put a couch in there and everything's exactly the size. You know exactly what that whole setup is going to look like. So whole nother thing. Does that answer that, Patty? Here's the problem that happens. And this has happened to me quite a bit of times, Patty, is like, say that dog we were just looking at, and then I cropped in on just her face, right? So I took a 42 megapixel picture and I cropped into just, like this corner. There's no way I'm printing that bigger than 16 by 20. So I will not offer that. I can just say, listen, this was the best expression. And it was so funny because the other dogs were looking away, but I got this one dog, this dog looking straight at the camera. So you're not gonna be able to print this huge, but it's in here. You can print it at least to this size. So some of that is kind of checking with your lab too. And you can use programs to upsize. Yeah. I think I've only counted a few times I've ever sold a 30 by 40 anyways. I know that's kind of a concern, but here's another way you can get around that, Patty. I've done this and it's actually really cute, is you just make a collage, either collage wall, like a wall grouping of all separate prints that they can scatter throughout their house later when they don't want them together, or you make just a collage. And I had one family that I was doing this. I did their family pictures 3-4 years in a row, and it was 4 generations of them. And they wanted like a 30 by 40 every year collage. And I don't love collages, but if that's what they need, like maybe they have one nice, really cool wall in their hallway or their entryway or something, and they want to showcase the whole family, bam, just right there, take it out of the box, put that one print on the wall. I mean, that's the way to do it, is a collage. I've done that. And people will actually really love it. Yeah. Wondering how big a product to offer. Yeah. I'm terrible at those kind of numbers. Obviously, I say 42 megapixels, but I would think that your camera probably is big enough. Here's the other thing, what substrate you're printing on. Canvas has that texture and it's more forgiving. And so you can get away with something that might not be great on, say, a metal or a standard mounted print, but could do okay on a canvas because it already kind of pixelates it. It looks like anyway. Yeah. What's my biggest one? 30 by 40. Yeah. And the one that I sell a lot is 16 by 20. And you can go up from there. The 20 by 20 squares are fun, especially if you have four dogs and do that kind of thing. Yeah, I just don't sell a lot of 30 by 40s. I mean, they're pretty expensive. I can tell you right now, my canvas is $1,000 for that. And I've just based that on all the different factors for my studio. Doesn't mean that you should sell that for that much or that little. Some people, that would be ridiculously cheap. So, I sell a lot of more wall grouping size, or desk size. And I think that's partly to do because dogs are so much smaller and it's hard to envision them that big on the wall. Where you're going to be able to sell that size, Patty, is when you're doing the whole family or a whole big group of dogs. So if you have 3 dogs and the environment, like you're doing one of those epic shots, that would be amazing on a 30 by 40 above a couch or a big fireplace. But if it's one dog's face, that would be weird. And yeah, people know that. One person recently, they had all 3 of their dogs to the studio and they got, I think it was 20 by 24s of each dog to hang all together. So that was really cool. But that was like this big feature piece. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to products and sales. Yeah. How are we doing? Oh, we're half hour into the show. How's everybody doing? And Patty, honestly, your price list will evolve over time. It will. I probably redo this every year because I realize one thing on here just never sells and I never sell it. I never even try to sell it. And so I just take it off. Or I'll think, oh my gosh, I totally missed this size in here. People keep asking for this size and I don't have it on here. I should add that kind of thing. So you'll find that this price list evolves a lot. Don't let it hold you back from just starting. Even if you only want to order, start with like desk size. So start with something that's not overwhelming for you or for them. There's a lot of psychology that goes into sales. It's a lot to think about. What else? Frank, did I answer your question? Did we go over that? Do you think pretty good? Let me know. We were looking at private commission. I don't know if you can see my arrow. Private commission over here. Extra prints, we talked about that. Pets versus just pets and people. There are lots of studios who only do pets, and that's totally fine. But if you feel comfortable photographing people, you're going to really expand what you can offer. And I started off photographing people. That's why they're in there for me. And the whole idea that your pets are part of your family, that just works really well for my studio. But if you really want to do, just really pet portraits, maybe a study of the pet, that kind of thing, that's totally fine. You can just offer just pets. It's just totally up to your flavor, what you want to do. Yeah? Okay, I did answer that. Whoop, whoop. Okay. I hope everyone, this was helpful to you all. Let's see. Let me get back to this. If you want a copy of this, then go here. And it has some extra stuff on here. And it includes let me come back. It includes next week's chart also of all the videography things. And it's not as scary as it sounds. Like, videography doesn't have to be a major movie production at all. And most of the time actually won't be. I think the longest production I've created for a business was like 4 minutes, because otherwise you're losing people's attention. So, that's what you'll get on that list. And if you're already on this list, you have gotten it. You already got it because I sent it directly to you. Yeah. Let's see. Turn that off. Patty, what did you say? Let's see. You said you would give us some go-to poses for people with their pets. Yes. So that's an upcoming video. I am going to, here's my problem with that. I'm just having such trouble this year with the pandemic. So right now I've got Lizzie and Emmy that are here for the month, and they have been so great to be part of some of the upcoming videos that we're filming. I filmed probably 3 or 4 different videos last week alone. One of them was about using off-camera flash outside. And then we're going to go to the studio and do a posing one. So we're going to pose the 2 of them with Bailey. The biggest problem is no matter how much I work on Bailey at the studio, the moment she hears that high-pitched hum from the lights, the strobes, she gets scared. So what I'm going to do is set it up at a time of day where I can just use that big window and just use natural light and concentrate the whole video on posing. So that's what I'd like to do, Patty, is just make a whole produced video on posing pets and people. And so what I'm going to do is have the two people with the dog, and then one person with the dog and another person with the dog. And so that would be what I'd call a breakdown. So this would be your entire session. Here's some samples that you could do. And then the idea is to replicate that with different backgrounds or props. So if I change the color background or we move to a different place outside, do all of those again in a different location. You're going to get a little bit different flavor. Yes. So that is an upcoming video, Patty. Would you ever use a drone for some videos of horses, dogs running? Sir, I would, but I don't have one. And here's what I've heard about drone work is that the animals don't really seem to care. Now, horses are a prey, right? So they're preyed on. So they're way more spooked. When we were out hiking this weekend, there were horses along the trail, and we were all really, really careful to just stand still off the side of the trail. Although these were obviously trail horses, they knew what they were doing, but I didn't want to disturb the horses at all. Dogs, I've heard, don't care. A lot of times the drones can be so high above them, doesn't matter, but I just don't. The times that I need drone work for my commercial work, I have a drone operator that I hire, and she meets me out there with the client sometimes, or I already know what the client wants, and I direct her. At that point, I'm just a director, and I have my drone operator who has all of the permits and the training and the equipment. So I just pay her separately to come out and get that. But I have really thought about that, Panda, because wouldn't that be fantastic? I did a video for a doggy daycare, and I hired my drone operator to come out, and we have this cool video. They have all these different outdoor play yards and the dogs running around in there from a sky point of view. Really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Drones. What else do I have coming up? Okay, let's talk about what I have coming up. Friday, we're going to talk about ways to make video. Then, excuse me, coffee. The next 2 weeks, we're going to be back to the craft. So these 2 weeks are been about business. The next 2 weeks are going to be at the craft. And I can't even tell you, here, do you want to see a sneak peek of what we're building for the wagon? I know this is going on and on, but if you're still with me, This is part of the upcoming video on attaching your flash to a wagon. I had to order one more piece of equipment, like hardware from Amazon, and I should get it tomorrow. And then I can finally finish the video. Oh my gosh. Lizzie's been helping me. Steve's been helping me engineer this whole thing. We sat on the floor at Lowe's for an hour or two the other day, trying to really puzzle this together to make it safe and sturdy and portable. That's coming up. I have another video coming up of lighting on location. I have another video coming up of the posing in the studio. I have another video coming up of using the wagon with the light on it. I have another video that I've already shot about how to make people comfortable on set, my 10 tips for that. So you don't want to miss any of the upcoming content. Yeah. I want to tell you too that next Monday, I may not do the live stream. I'm not sure yet. We have some personal stuff going on that day that I don't know exactly what time that'll happen. So if I don't go live on Monday, I pre-apologize that I might be getting some family news. So there's that. Thought I'd let you know. I'll put that in the newsletter if I know, but it's supposed to happen like I'm supposed to talk to the family members that day. So I know I show this every week, but just in case, I have my photographer shirts, which I'm not wearing today, but you know what I'm talking about. My photographer shirts, they're available on Teespring. And I just got an email from Teespring that they're now offering dog hoodies. Let's see what I come up with for dog hoodies. So there you go. If you want a photographer shirt, tote, mask, whatever you want, tank top. Okay. All right. I think I need to wrap it up now. We've had a great conversation. I love answering your questions. Feel free to email me anytime and throw me questions and ideas for future produced videos as well. If you come up with any more ideas on our list that we have over here that you'd like to have a deep dive on, I might just do that as a 1-week series in the fall. I'm kind of nibbling on the idea of making a course, a beginner's pet photography course. Like a full big course. So I'm not sure yet. I don't know. If y'all think that I should make like a pet photography getting started guide course, let me know, because I'm this close to thinking about doing that. Okay. All right. We're going to go. It's been great to see you all. It's been great to see you all. Stay cool. Get your water, get your coffee, get your Netflix, whatever you need. All right. And as always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs. Okay. Bye. Bye.